Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat. Today we're going to be talking about social media versus real life, and I have a wonderful, very special guest with me who's sort of an expert on this topic. This is Kerith Lemon. Welcome, Kerith.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. So, Kerith, for people that don't already know you and love you, please tell us all about yourself.
Yes, I'm Kerith Lemon. I'm the director of the short film A Social Life, and outside of my short filmmaking, I am a director for film, television, and digital.
Yes, and that's how we met. How many years ago now?
I think it was almost 4 years ago now.
3 or 4
Three and a half years. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, time really flies. So Kerith has created a film called A Social Life, which is amazing. It's a short film. It's 8 minutes long about, and it really addresses the topic on social media and how that's really affecting our real life and the blend of the two. So I have lots of great questions to ask Kerith today so we can chat about this topic, but I'm sure all of you guys can relate to your relationship with social media and how that affects your personal life, and maybe even that social media sometimes can drive you crazy and give you an anxiety and jealousy, and you feel depressed or you feel addicted to social media, or just whatever feelings you have associated with it. Social media is wonderful. Obviously, this is YouTube, so we're using social media as a way to connect and have community online with people all over the world. So social media is so amazing, but it also has some challenges. So we're going to talk about that today, and I'm really excited. So thanks for joining us again.
Of course.
So Kerith, tell us a little bit more about your film, A Social Life.
So I made a short film that's called A Social Life, and it's the story of a young career girl who is living her dream life online. So she has a very full life. She is ambitious, she has a job, she likes to work out, and she likes to document that as she goes through her day because she knows it's contributing towards her personal brand that she's sharing with her community online. And it's sort of in that quest to share this life that she really is living that she gets a little lost in crafting something that is more that is actually happening.
Yeah, I've obviously seen the film. It's really great, and there's definitely elements that I think we all can relate to in the film. One element that I thought kind of stood out, which I have never done, is when she is posting, I think she's posting a picture of her feet to go exercise, and then I think she kicks her shoes off and she doesn't actually go exercise. So there's just a lot in the film that I think we all can relate to. So Kerith very kindly has shared a clip with us that we're going to share with you now. So that was just the clip that I was just talking about, the exercise clip. So what inspired you to make this film? This is a really relevant topic for us.
You know, for me, I've been working in the media space for almost 15 years now, and when I started my career in New York at Viacom, which owns MTV and Comedy Central, it was part of my job to be connected and to see what all of these new platforms could do and how we could use them to kind of help our brands and to help our clients. And so we had to be personal users, so I found myself really being like an early adopter. And over the years, you know, kind of my business practices, I would say, slipped into my personal social media usage, in that I understood that I needed to create a brand for myself, especially as a woman in the industry. There's not very many women in the industry, and felt like I needed to publicize all the things I was working on so that if somebody searched for me, if they were looking for a director, they would see that I had this, you know, breadth of work. And all the social media platforms really become part of your resume. And as I felt that pressure to kind of keep that up, I was also reading all these articles about social media envy and social media depression, and that was very interesting to me. I felt like it was something that we needed to talk about more, so I made a film to inspire a conversation. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, I can definitely relate to that, because there is a difference between businesses who have a social media presence, and sometimes an individual person's removed from that, and like, let's say it's a peanut butter company, and so their posts are really all about peanut butter. But when sometimes the lines get mixed, like for our business, it's a combination of our business and myself, and so it's sometimes hard to know like how much to share, or you have to keep up with sharing. But even for people that don't have a business and just they themselves want to just share their life online, there's that pressure to have everything look perfect, or the different filters, or having a clever comment, or how many likes you have or follows you have, or someone else's, their feed may look exactly like yours, but they have more followers than you, but why is that? And so I think we all can relate to that pressure of social media. And I think it does just open up a good discussion, because I don't think social media is bad. I think it's, and I'm sure you can agree with that, it's a wonderful way to connect with people and to, inspire people and share with people and build relationships with people all over the world. But it's a really interesting balance. I'm interested to see what happens in the next 5, 10, 15 years with it.
It's tricky, and that's the first thing I say in most of my interviews is like, I am a huge fan of social media. I would not be married to my husband without social media. We were able to kind of further our relationship because we were living in different cities through social media. But I do think there's that fine line. Like, at the end of the day, we all want to be validated. Our Lady Oprah says that a lot. And everybody is the same, celebrity or not. Everyone wants a gold star. Everybody wants to be heard and to be seen. And social media provides this amazing platform to be seen and heard by more people. But at the same time, it's quantified it. So on every post you have numbers, and you can see that. You can see that against other people. So it's very easy to get to that place where you're comparing yourself to other people, which is sort of the negative side of social media, I'd say.
Definitely, and I think it can change our motives of why we post. Like, maybe you only post things because, well, I know I'm going to get a lot of likes if I post this, but maybe you're not posting as many things as you'd actually really want to share, or are really actually inspiring or true things that are true to you. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting topic, and I definitely recommend that you guys check out her film. We're going to keep talking about this, but you should definitely check out her film. It's about 8 minutes long. So there'll be a link below in the video description box so you guys can watch the entire film. So we're talking about the pressures of social media. Why do you think, as the creator of A Social Life, why do you think that we feel so much pressure to appear perfect online?
I think it varies from person to person. So, it kind of depends on the kind of user you are. I think for women like us that are career-oriented and driven and understand the media world, like, there is this pressure to craft kind of a perfect look, so that because it's part of your resume. I think for general average people, you can't help but be influenced by media images, and so many of the media images out there are perfected with airbrushing and everything. And even though we know that that's there, we still have these very high standards that we kind of compare ourselves to.
Yeah.
And I think that social media itself has sort of made that happen, because it's actually bringing those celebrities closer to us. So it's giving you this real life glimpse into their behind the scenes lives every day. But at the same time, now you're seeing how many likes they're getting, kind of the perfection of their life, which is really just a tiny snapshot, and it's probably been face-tuned or airbrushed or filtered. But still, you're kind of comparing image to image. And so it's so easy to get to that place where you just constantly feel this pressure to be perfect.
Definitely. And I always try to remind myself that I often will compare myself to like a major brand who actually is like not that we're not a real business, but like pictures on like Martha Stewart or the Food Network, and I want my content to be just as good as that. And with social media, it's like you're all kind of on, all Instagram accounts are kind of on like an even playing field, but then you're wanting your content to be as frequent or as good as some of these companies, or maybe people who have a big budget or a team that's like their sole job is maybe like just Instagram or just Instagram photos. So I think it's just all good. Like, I think the point of your video is just to create a conversation about this, or your film, to create a conversation about this. And I think the more that we talk about it and kind of understand social media, like, we don't have to remove ourselves from it, but it can help us have a more like healthy relationship with it.
I'd like to see people have a healthy balance, and my hope was with the film to not only inspire conversation, but just kind of raise an awareness and give us perspective. Because at the end of the day, it's about that perspective. That looking at that picture and knowing that there's probably filters on it, or looking at that picture and knowing that there's probably a team of 100 people crafting that Instagram picture.
It's not just really you and your camera.
So I think having a perspective, like a broader perspective about the whole world and where you're fitting in can help alleviate some of that pressure.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you just kind of got to let it go a little bit and find what works best for you.
Yeah. And I think also remember that it's online, it's the social space, but we still have like our whole real life, and that the numbers and all of that is great, but like we still have real life over here, and that's really actually what matters most.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for all of us to like unplug and not be on our phones and to just be in our real world.
Yeah, it's been very interesting to me because a lot of the conversation that's been sparked has been within the tech industry. We were featured on Engadget and actually Gizmodo, which was amazing. And most of the readers of those publications are in the tech industry, and a lot of people have chimed in saying like, I feel the same way, thank you for bringing this, to light and starting a conversation. And then at the same time, there's like an equal number of sort of like haters out there that are like, this girl doesn't exist. She's too beautiful to be sad. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to have the conversation to spread further. And, in the tech industry, these are the people that are creating these apps, and for them to realize that human contact and human relationships are still very important.
Yeah.
And social media can enhance those relationships, but they can't really replace them.
Yeah, definitely. So my next question for you is, what advice do you have for me and everyone watching for how we can have a better relationship with social media?
Well, I don't feel like I'm an expert, but I have been doing a lot of reading online and gotten a lot of great suggestions from other people and places. And, there's a few things. First and foremost, it's what works for you. It's kind of realizing how much time are you really spending on social media and how's it making you feel? Like, to me, that's the most important conversation. And if it's really weighing you down and making you feel kind of sad or unhappy or like a little jealous, you probably need to take a step back.
Yeah.
So then it's about finding like what's the right balance for you. For me, I like to stay off social media on the weekends. There's actually an organization out there that is called the Sabbath Manifesto, and they advocate for having a tech Sabbath every Friday night to Saturday night. And I think that's a pretty fun concept.
Yeah.
And what I love most about them is that they're not saying that you have to be off it for that entire time. You have to do what's right for you and how much you can. If you're able to put down your phone for a whole dinner with your husband, then that's great. But if you're able to sign up for the whole Sabbath, then that's great too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really great. I went on a vacation recently, I guess months ago, and I didn't turn my phone on for an entire week, and it was wonderful. Like, I was really nervous about doing it. I didn't check my emails. I had a away message for anyone that emailed me, and to be on your phone that often, like, you just kind of miss having something in your hand. I will say that we did have the iPad. I did go on Pinterest a few times, but I did not go on any of our Healthy Grocery Girl accounts or check my emails or anything. But it was really nice because then when I came home and I got back into my work routine, I mean, now I'm back on my phone a lot, but for a while, I wasn't as attached to my phone. Like, I would leave it places and realize that I would spend hours working, and then 2-3 hours would go by, and I'd be like, where did I put my phone? And I just, that break helped me not be so attached to my phone. So I could see if you took breaks more regularly, like every weekend or even a day, or even for a few hours each day, it would just slowly help that kind of obsessiveness that we have with our phone, and to constantly be seeing, like, what is everyone doing, who posted what, how many likes did they get, all of that.
Yeah, it makes me a little sad when we start to have conversations about other people's photos. So that happens between my husband and I sometimes, where I'll be like, oh, check out what so-and-so is doing while we're just sitting on the couch. I'm like, why aren't we out doing something?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. We took a break from our social media during our honeymoon, which was amazing. I just deleted all the apps off my phone. And same thing, I used my phone a lot as a camera when I was out and about, but it wasn't that same need to check. Because that's really a habit that we've formed over time, which can be broken if you pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And it's about the boundaries again.
I agree. It's like muscle memory. Like, when I pick up my phone, my fingers just want to click and scroll and swipe and all that kind of stuff. So I think taking breaks is a really good way to help have that balance, which you recommended.
I think it makes you more efficient too, because we really aren't made to multitask at the level that we're forcing ourselves to do these days. And it's there's a few moments in the film that I find myself doing in real life. Like, there's a moment where she's on her computer and then picks up her phone, which I've done a million times. And when you realize you're doing it, it becomes almost embarrassing. Like you're sitting in front of a computer answering emails and you check your phone for some other reason, and next thing you know, you're answering an email on your phone sitting in front of your computer.
Totally. Yeah, we feel that way too sometimes, where it's like, you know, my husband's computer, my computer, a phone, and it's like all the technology, and it's just like, and you know, for businesses, like technology is wonderful and you need it, but it's just good to be able to have that balance.
Yeah. I think another really good way to find balance is to have a tech-free bedroom. So we've started to charge our phones outside of the bedroom, which means that we're not reaching for the phone first thing to turn off the alarm and immediately getting immersed in social media, because that kind of sets the tone for your day. And if you're not checking social media the first thing, then you maybe will wait longer throughout the day to check it.
Yeah, we do that also. I leave my phone out of the bedroom because I will just, if I get an email and it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'm just so curious what that email is. A lot of times it's like West Elm trying to sell me a couch, but like I'm curious, like maybe it's something important. And then same thing, first thing in the morning. So I don't want to get an email right before I go to bed or right when I wake up that has any potential of maybe making me feel like, oh, I got to handle this right now, or maybe it's something frustrating or puts me in a bad mood or stresses me out, because that's not the emotions I want to have right before I go to sleep or right when I wake up. So it's nice to like stop the phone time before bed and then have at least some morning of just you and your spouse, or just you before you like get back into the phone.
One last one is to turn off all the notifications on your social media, because if you think about it, do you really need to know that person's messaged you on social media that instant?
Yeah.
You know that you're going to check a few times throughout the day, and that's probably frequent enough. And more often than not, those notifications have nothing to do really with you or a one-to-one interaction. It's like somebody replying to like some group post or something.
Yeah.
So if you don't have those numbers flashing at you on all of your little apps, then it can kind of reduce the stress and reduce the need to check so often.
Yeah, that's a really good tip.
Thank you.
So I'm sure all of you can relate to this topic on social media versus real life and kind of having the balance of the two. I would love to know in the comments below, what are some ways that you help create balance for yourself or for your family with social media in your real life? I'm sure you guys have lots of great wisdom to share on this topic, things that's working for you, maybe things that are not. So make sure to let us know in the comments below. Also, check out the link to Kerith's film, A Social Life, in the video description box. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this video, share it with your friends, and thank you so much for watching today. Kerith, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And I think this is just a really great topic, super relevant to our times and something we all can relate to. So thanks again so much for joining me, and thanks everyone for watching, and have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.